Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today on Forza Horizon 5 with some more multiplayer racing for you. For this session we are racing B-class vehicles from the van and utility section. There's a bunch of transits, there's a few pickup trucks and a Wuling because the Wuling had nowhere else to go. I'm driving the new Volkswagen pickup. I mean, it's not very stock, I will admit. It has I'm pretty sure it's the Corrado VR6 engine, but it's got nearly 300 horsepower and it weighs less than 2,000 pounds. It's a pretty damn good power to weight ratio. There is one, in fact the Volkswagen's sandwiched the field. One starts on pole, I start at the back. Another rule for this I should say, is everything has to run its standard drive line. So, the Volkswagen's a front-wheel drive, the rest of the pack will be rear-wheel drive. Nobody's allowed to convert their cars to run all-wheel drive. I thought for a little bit more fun, a little bit more variety. I like front-wheel drive. I generally do quite well with front-wheel drive. I think we've had a transit disconnect, so we might actually start from... well, there's still going to be a lot of vehicles to try and overtake. I feel like we shouldn't be too bad. We don't have very big tyres, is the problem for this car. I think it's about 235s all round, which are very small compared to what we are going up against. I'm on off-road race tyres. I think almost everything here will be. There might be something, the Lightning might not be able to get off-road race tyres. Mamba's fallen over! Because it is raining with this. So I leave the weather set to just about whatever the game picks for an event. And I think it's the wet season at the moment. And this track is going to be a wet one. And, well, Forza physics mean 40 over vehicles in the rain. We have snuck up the inside of a couple of vehicles there. Speed Beast has got to the front with the Wuling, I think it is, that has made it there. We have climbed a long way already. We are going to have a little bit of a sneaky look to the inside. I mean, we were carrying so much speed there. I don't think the Falcon was ready. We are going to try. There's a little... Oh, how did we just cheated our way through a transit? How the hell did we do that? There was a little Volkswagen-sized gap and we kind of went for it on that corner. I mean, this track should be good for the Volkswagen. It should be good for the Wuling as well, to be fair. The Wuling will be nice and light. Also, the transits, of course, will have a lot of power, but they will be very heavy. They will be very heavy compared to the likes of the Volkswagen. And, of course, the front-wheel drive is generally pretty good in Horizon. We do get a lot of torque steer there. That is more me being greedy on the throttle than, I say, well, perhaps a little bit more greedy on the throttle than I need to be. We are fast with this Volkswagen. We are chasing down a Wuling here. Oh, come on. Come on, Volkswagen. Do not let that Wuling take it. We've definitely got great pace here. Is that a wide body kit Wuling? That is the question. It might well be. Yeah, I mean, this is an ideal sort of circuit, as I said, for me. The traction's pretty good, even in the wet, actually. I've got to say, 300 horsepower going through. Fairly small. I mean, I'm asking the front wheels to do quite a lot. It's not crazy heavy vehicle, that is true. But we're still asking the front wheels to do a lot of work here. Speed Beast, I mean, is holding the gap. It is coming down. I don't know if it's coming down quick enough. We're hoping for a little mistake from the Wuling. We're desperate to see the Wuling have a wobble, get oversteer somewhere, miss a braking point. That's the sort of stuff I need to see. Because as it is, Speed Beast is doing just enough to make it very difficult for me. I mean, I'm driving the wheels off this Volkswagen, trying desperately to catch without clonking a wall somewhere. We've closed in a little bit. Even if we catch, though, I know how incredibly tough to pass around this circuit it is. We only really get a couple of good, solid attempts, sort of places we could even attempt to pass, and that's if we're close enough in both of them on the final lap. The main one being down here, or potentially the way down here under brakes, or the exit here, if you can get the nose turned underneath. But I think the Wuling has better turning than I do. We might be able to just out-accelerate it up the hill into the final corner. That's the other good spot. We do have monstrous acceleration in this car. Well, pick up, if you like. Speed is really kind of just... It's just holding on to that gap. It's just enough. We are faster. Oh, that's what I wanted to see. That is the sort of stuff we were looking for. Just a little mistake creeping in. The Wuling ran wide and hit the wall. We have got so much straight line speed compared to the Wuling. The Wuling's running full aero. That is why. So it's got good speed through the corners, that Wuling, with all that aero, but it absolutely murders its top speed. So that's why it's good down here. The Wuling is good down this section. That's why it can pull away, but we are very quick going up the hill because we've got the top end, and we've probably got the power even on the Wuling, but it can get its power down nicely here. I think it's too little, too late for us. We have pushed it all the way to the end. We are absolutely flying up the hill towards it, but am I going to be close enough? We are not. It would be a pretty big mistake for Speed Beast now for us to be able to find a way past. We needed a couple more laps. Desperately trying to get all the power as soon as about one more lap, and that would have been trouble for for the Wuling Sunshine. The Volkswagen's quick. I like that. I like that a lot. That is a monstrously fast car. We will get fastest lap of the race at a 51.8. And El Camino comes home in third. Again, El Camino on the podium ahead of a Transit. The other VW falls to fifth ahead of the Lightning. Then we have El Camino, Transit, Ute, and some more Transits round out the bottom of the table. Yeah, I mean, that's a tough circuit for some of the bigger vehicles there, no doubt about it. God damn it, we hadn't started at the back even. We might have been able to do something. We got within a couple of tenths, not one more lap, but it doesn't matter, it's the end of the race. Still, not a bad start for the Volkswagen at all. We head off-road for our next race. When I say off-road, it's kind of partial off-road. There's a little bit of a dirt section on this track. I have a much better spot on the grid. The Wuling is still in front of us, and I should point out, while we might be a little further up on the grid, we are going to lose out on the launch. Nothing we can do about it. That is the curse of being front-wheel drive. And I mean, we're relatively powerful front-wheel drive. We do spin a lot of our power away for a bit. Admittedly, Transits and El Caminos and so on aren't exactly the best launching vehicles in the world. So, it kind of comes back in our favour a little bit here. But you can see the Wuling's already gone off the line. I'm actually surprised more vehicles didn't come past us. One of the Transits here has got a decent start. He's going to have a look, but just don't think they're going to be able to match. They're not going to be able to match my cornering. Now, I mean, the Wuling is the big threat I feel here. Especially if I can clear this Transit nicely. We know the Wuling's pretty good in the twisty stuff. Now, I'm hoping my front-wheel drive might negate some of that here. Front-wheel drive is good off-road in Horizon. I'm hoping that might negate some of the Wuling's advantages. I mean, you can already see it's having a little bit of a wobble on the way down here, and we will be a lot more stable than that vehicle. Where we have our big advantage, I mean, if we can live with it, if I can just stay close to it through the corners, we know we can absolutely slaughter it down the straight. The start-finish straight is going to be the place to do it. I'm going to let the Wuling take out the debris. It didn't quite take out the debris I wanted it to. We have got underneath here. We are going to park it on the apex. I knew the Wuling was wanting to do a cutback there. I could sense what it's going for. Oh, I got a lot of understeer down there. There's going to be a Wuling to the inside. There is absolutely a Wuling there. We got a lot of wheel spin, and then there is the power of the Volkswagen. It might have an engine swap, but at least it's a legit Volkswagen engine that's gone in it. Oh, that's way too early on the brakes. God dear, I should be braver, need to be braver there in future. So we have got Volkswagen leading Wuling, leading Transit, leading El Camino. It's a good selection of vehicle. The El Camino has more power than me from standard, but it is a lot heavier, of course. It will have very big tyres, and it's on off-road race tyres, as basically all of the vehicles are in this field, bar a couple that I think are going to have a tough time here. That is for sure. Ooh, got it. We got on the bump correct there and really got the car rotated nicely. Wuling is right behind us, but I mean, the difficult thing for the Wuling now is it finds itself a little bit parked, because it can close up all it likes in the twisty stuff, but I am not that slow. Like, I am slower than it, but I'm not that slow. And if I park my car on the apex, a Wuling's not going to find a way past. And then we get to a straight where I can just utilise my power, and the Wuling is powerless to do anything about it. So I mean, we've seen it time and time again in the battle of the straight line speed versus handling cars. And I mean, this isn't the biggest difference in terms of handling, I should point out. This is not a barge by any stretch of the imagination. But it is just fast enough through the corners that the Wuling is not going to be able to pass me easily, and then it's very fast down the straight. It's got some great acceleration here. I mean, this is out accelerating things with a fair bit more power, helped by the fact, of course, that it is very light and everything. Again, once more, we can just fire away from the Wuling here. I've got to be a little careful when we head onto the dirt. The downside with this that I do have. Actually, I'll tell you, we do have aero on this. I forgot I did actually put aero on this. I take back everything. I did, but I have been sort of contemplating putting aero on off-road race tired vehicles often. I didn't really notice because it's such a tiny sort of lip spoiler on the back, but actually I think I have. Regardless, either way, it's not just that then. The Wuling is just better handling than we are. Oh, that's a wall with a sticky out tyre bundle that could get me into a whole world of trouble. What I was going to say, and the reason that got me thinking about, well, I noticed the aero. This being a pickup truck, I have no weight over the back. The back end actually gets bounced quite a lot through some of these. And the Wuling has got a good run through the final corner, and I struggle to get my vehicle out of there. We will once again accelerate away. The El Camino's back onto the podium, I think, by the looks of it. We are going to just defend that inside and then make the most of our acceleration. Yep. Fire the Volkswagen away from the Wuling. We head on to the dirt stuff now. We've got to be good this lap around. Can't afford. I can barely hear my car over that. Over the vehicle behind it is making so much noise. We've carried good speed through there. That is out a little bit wide, trying to make up lap time, and it's going to throw it out of sorts a little bit down here. That's good, actually. That is the sort of stuff that I have been wanting to see as we transition back onto the tarmac. Let's get the power down here. It's not the easiest, but once it does grip, it really does fire itself forward. Yeah, I just cannot carry. Quite a lot of understeer going through here, and this is where I could be vulnerable. Not quite close enough from Speed Beast this time around. Definitely that Sunshine has found some speed these final couple of laps here, but it's going to have to go a very awkward way around. I'm not going to make life easy. It's going to be a drag race towards the line, and that is a thing that we will win. We were pushed hard in that one. We were pushed hard in that one, indeed. We will take victory. It looked like a great battle for second as well. I'm not sure what way that one went. What way did it go? I went to the El Camino just. Yeah, a tenth in it between the top two. The Wuling found some speed in those final couple of laps that I didn't quite get. I think I was a little cautious in places and I needed not to be. That much is for sure. However, in a reversal pretty much of the first race, oh, that's a close finish there as well between a couple of the transits. Pardon me, apologies, but mid-sentence. Very professional. Either way, yeah, it's a reverse of the top two from the previous race. The El Camino gets on the podium. The transit put up a very good fight. It was good battle. Definitely a hard fought for one that. So, we head to the Gardens circuit for our next race. Shall be interesting to see how the Volkswagen fares around here. This is a pretty technical circuit, although it isn't. This is a fairly technical circuit. However, the track we drove first was probably the most technical circuit, the most grip demanding. So if we kept up with the Wuling there and actually chased it down, we might stand a chance here. There are some longer straights. There are a couple of places where I think we might get a little bit in trouble. We will probably have the easier time carving up through the field just because we can use sheer blinding speed from this vehicle. Not off the line, of course, but once we've got going, it is very, very rapid, this. Although the Wuling... Yeah, the problem I've got is the Wuling's already to the front. We are up into third. We've had a good start. Wuling's lost out to the El Camino. Now as a Transit's going to try and fight back, but he's never going to be able to do that. The El Camino might help me out quite a lot here, unintentionally, of course, but the El Camino can make life difficult for that Wuling, potentially. At the start, sadly, it hasn't done quite enough for what I would like. It would have been very helpful if it stayed ahead. It's having a little bit of a sniff, actually. That could be really good news for me if it can get to the inside of the Wuling. that could be very, very good news, because what it's done is it's left the door open for a Volkswagen. A Volkswagen with more grip than an El Camino and more speed than a Wuling has found itself in second. This is going to get very, very crowded very, very quickly, I think, if we're not careful here. The Wuling's struggling with just no top end. All the El Caminos early on the brakes there. We will be able to, I think, get ourselves to the inside. That Chevy just cannot carry the speed through the corner that we can. And that'll put us to the lead of the race. In fact, there's now 2 vehicles between me and that Sunshine. That is very, very good news. That is absolutely what I want to see. I've been in that position where you have the vehicle that has all the grip in the world and you just get stuck in traffic. I've been in that position many, many times. And it is frustrating, because you can run quick lap times when you're on your own, but it's really difficult when you've got to deal with traffic every which way. Transits have a look at the El Camino, not quite got the speed there to out-accelerate. So Chevy's got a lot of power. I mean, we know that, of course. It's got 450 from standard. So it has a lot of power, so there's a lot of potential for top end in that, of course. But it won't be able to live with my speed through the corners like that. Although I think I should have probably gone down into 4th, to be honest with you, but never mind. Oh, I'm going to chuck into turn 1. A little smidge too hot. We'll get away with that. I mean, ideally we don't do that. However, we will get away with it because nothing else is going to be able to match our pace anyway through there. We just don't make as much ground as I would have liked, really. In this lap, actually, we've pulled just a little bit of a margin. Head through the next corner. The Wuling's still stuck watching. I mean, it's a good battle going on between that Transit. The Transit's got the same problem. The Transit's got more speed in the corners than that Chevy. It just can't live with the El Camino's acceleration. Just as soon as we get out of any corner, the El Camino's off like a rocket. And again, they're side by side. The Chevy will keep hold of it. That is also helping me out massively. I love seeing that fight. I mean, it's great fun to be part of those fights. It always is. It's also great news to see that sort of fight behind you, because that means they are really slowing each other down. That means we are able to run in clean air, and you can see the gap we've made that lap around. It was a better lap by me, that is true, but also very much helps when they are fighting each other as hard as that. We had a little bit of a janky way through there. Got a little bit more turning than I expected. However, yeah, we're just going to extend this lead. And the trick now is, we want to drive as hard as we can, but don't do anything stupid. We've got a nice, comfortable lead. If we lose half a second a lap, they're not going to catch us. Missing a checkpoint will ruin the race, of course. So, yeah, don't do anything that's going to quite run the risk of missing a checkpoint, but can't slow down too much. I've talked about this before, and it is, certainly for me, it is kind of true. I struggle driving at anything other than 100%. If I'm trying to drive at like 95% to be safe with a lead for the race, I make way more mistakes. I am better off just stay driving how I have been, because you stay in a sort of rhythm. We had a little bit of a wobble through there. The Transit's out in the wall. But yeah, trying to keep that rhythm up is, I feel, sometimes a little bit more important. It does mean, yes, sometimes I end up missing a checkpoint in awkward places, but I do feel overall it's the way to go. For me, at least, not for everybody. But yeah, we've not had as greater a start to this lap. But again, the El Camino is never going to be close. Without a big mistake from me, the El Camino is never going to be close enough. And through there, for example, that's the sort of pace the Chevy just can't match. It's not going to be able to turn and carry that sort of speed. And while, front-wheel drive, we are struggling with understeer. I'd love some bigger front tyres on this. There's no doubt about it. Getting rid of a little bit of horsepower and get some bigger front tyres would be amazing. However, yeah, this is the size that we get in Forza for the Volkswagen. So yeah, that is what we have to live with. It's certainly good enough around here. The Volkswagen will claim a victory number 2. Again, it certainly wasn't all our own way, and it wasn't by the largest of margins ever. It was a good victory. We beat the El Camino and the Transit. The Wuling, I think the Wuling was fast. I mean, lap time wise, it was right there. All of us were very similar. You're only talking a few tenths of a second separating the 4 of us. The Wuling was quick but stuck in traffic. The second of the El Caminos would get 5th. Some Transits cross the line a little further back. Yeah. That was another good race. It was another good race. Once we got clear, we managed to get clear early enough and just avoid that big scrap. Very much needed. The Transit gets on the podium for the first time. It's off to the Caldera Scramble for our fourth race, an all-dirt track here, and the two Volkswagens are at the front. Although then we have the El Camino and Transit right behind us. The Wuling is a little bit further back. I don't know what we're going to see here. The Wuling, I think, could be fast. It was quick on our first dirt circuit. I wouldn't be surprised to see it being quick here. I mean, the advantage I've got in the Volkswagen, we are going to be quick up the hill. We should outturn the Transit and El Camino, although they're going to probably be ahead of me before we leave Ghost Mode. That is our concern. I mean, it is a downhill start line, which is slightly better for us, but still, I'm expecting to see those come flying towards us, and they will, okay, if they can get well through here, they will have the power up the hill. They are heavy. They will have the power up the hill, maybe to out-drag us, although not quite as much as I thought. We got a good turn one. We've been able to build a little bit of a gap. Now, I don't know what the difference is between me and the other Volkswagen. We certainly it seems to have more speed than I do. We certainly seem to have more grip than it does. And that grip does seem to be the way to go. I mean, this thing is very, very quick accelerating. So, yeah, that grip is a good thing. By the looks of it, it was out of position somewhere back there. We're a little bit of a street sweeper. Don't really want to do that, although they should be gone from now on. We lose a little bit of time on this first lap, but it's fine. The Wuling's already up to second. That's had a monstrous first lap, and it was to be expected. We expect that to be quick, and this may well be a race of build your lead early on and hope that it's a big enough one that the Wuling can't catch, and hope that the Wuling gets stuck fighting. You know, it might get stuck trying to get past that El Camino. We know the Chevy's going to be quick up that hill, and then the Wuling's going to be stuck following. Oh, I'm all out of sorts there. That car can be stuck following all the way through this twisty section. It might get the pass done eventually, but it's how much time. These are not long races. You can't afford... Oh, that's a lot of oversteer that I did not want in my front-wheel drive. Yeah, you do not want to waste any more time than you have to in traffic. The Wuling is clear, and it is well clear now. The El Camino is always going to struggle a little bit more around here. I mean, this is just... Even with the right tyres, this is still a very twisty circuit for the big American boat. Oh, don't miss that checkpoint. That would be annoying. I'm trying a slightly different line there. I'm basically focusing my car on the run up the hill. The goal for my Volkswagen is to kind of go for sort of a late apex and just make the most of the power up the hill. I know that's where we're going to be strongest, so emphasize a little bit on that. We are getting caught, but I don't think it's getting caught fast enough, really, around here. We'll clatter some more rocks out of the way. We will be flat around there. Yeah, speed piece I think is a smidge faster. I think we're going to struggle to do enough in the time, and I think again it's similar lap times, really. It's too similar to close that gap, and this time it's us benefiting from a nice spot on the grid. No, that's how it goes. Sometimes these grids are random, I have no control over them, so sometimes we benefit from them, sometimes we get stuck at the back. I've had races where almost every single race have started at the back. And yeah, this time we have just made the most of that relatively clean start. I can see the Wuling is not a million miles away, certainly. Any little mistake by me could well be costly through here. Let's not run too wide. Yeah, I mean, it might have caught a little bit, actually. It hasn't caught as much as I thought it had back there. Definitely very evenly matched, these two. They gain their speeds a little bit differently, but they are evenly matched. Then you have the Transit and El Camino can match us on tarmac, certainly on the faster circuits. They can, as soon as the tracks open up a little bit, they can give us some grief. Oh, don't understeer too much through there. They actually are quite wide all the way around here. Not ideal, although I think the Wuling might have made a mistake. I think Speedbeast may have had a little issue somewhere. It looks slightly further back than I was expecting it to. Probably, I wouldn't be surprised if Speedbeast just threw caution to the wind, and sometimes you've got to do it. Yeah, I think he's gained a little bit, despite a scruffy... Actually, it was the fastest lap by me on the end there. Felt scruffy at a couple of places on that final lap, but we actually did find some pace there. It's pretty good. Again for the Volkswagen, and we get fastest lap of the race at the death. I think we might have had fastest lap of the race without that final one, because I think we were a lower 47, but yeah. So me and the Wuling, very, very similar, continue to be incredibly close. The El Camino could manage a 47, but just couldn't quite live with our pace. The Transit nowhere near as good off-road. The other El Caminos into the 47s as well, which is pretty good going. The Ford U actually did a good lap down there in 9th, because that's going to be on... That's a difficult build. You don't get much PI to play with at all, but yeah, that's into the 48s. However, the Volkswagen reigns supreme once more. We head onto our final race, the Emerald Circuit. We might have El Camino problems here. In fact, we are surrounded by them. I think the Wuling is going to really struggle here. Its lack of straight line speed is going to be a severe problem. It will be fast. It will be unbelievably fast in a couple of places around this track, but that lack of straight line speed may be its undoing. I think it will be. The Volkswagen might be the right balance around this track. You do want some grip. The corner in front of the hotel, the final turn, you're going to want some grip, and the Volkswagen will be fast. But you also do need some straight line speed here. There's no doubt about it. The run all the way down here, you'll want some top end. Already, I mean, the Wuling's off the line and then already just run out of speed against the likes of me and the El Camino. But through here, this corner, you want some grip, and you definitely want some grip coming in front of the hotel. It'll be an interesting matchup, because yeah, I can't match that El Camino for pace down here, but I can be flat, I suspect, through here, and that El Camino might struggle. So it's who's got the right balance around this track. We will be a lot better here. We maybe could have dove actually to the inside. Yeah, because this is the problem now that we have, is we've got a wide El Camino in front of us that's difficult to do much with, and we've got a Transit behind having a little bit of a look. We do not want to sit and wait behind. We're going to want to have a look to the inside through there. Now, unfortunately, the tight line that you take if you're going for a pass there does leave you susceptible on the exit. The Wulings tried to follow me, which is... I mean, he got the move done briefly. The El Camino wants to have a look there. It can try. It's never going to take a tight line in comparison to me. It's this next run where we are vulnerable a little bit, and the El Camino will have warmed up tyres. It will maybe be able to hold this now. Oh, it does just. Do we fire back immediately? I mean, we do very much want to. Am I close enough? Not sure. On the final lap, I probably would take that gamble, but on this lap, I don't know. There is a gap around the outside of the El Camino there that is being left that we might have to gamble on at some point. I mean, again, we're coming to the final corner, and we're just going to run the Volkswagen in with all the speed that we can, shut the door, and it will work, because I can do that. I mean, that does get me to the line first if we do this every lap, but of course it's a risk doing that every lap. It is a risk that one time the El Camino shuts the door a little bit better, we are going to go around the outside there, although the El Camino might pass us earlier in the lap now, as we will run side by side all the way through here. This is a great battle. This is a great battle, but is the El Camino going to be able to get far enough away? It's far enough away that I can't dive it here, which is a problem, because this is where I really want to get past it. But I can't do it. However, the last few laps I've been trying to go... Oh, we clipped the rocks. God damn it, because I've been trying to go through it essentially on the exit of that corner, because I've not been able to get myself in the right place. So, do we do... no, we won't be able to do what we've done in the last few laps, because I've clonked the wall there. God damn it. Now, what do we do from here? We can sit in the draft. It'll give us a little bit more top speed. Not enough, but it'll give us a little bit more. Unfortunately, we now can't really compromise the El Camino through here. We won't be compromised either. We can drive as fast as we like through there. I mean, my main hope is the Chevy makes a little mistake somewhere, I think. Because we're too far back now. Yeah, we're too far back. The only chance we have is for a Chevy mistake. We can be... Now, we will not be compromised into here, of course, and on the exit of this corner. So we can absolutely floor it, and we have been quick through there. Got a little bit of understeer on the way down the hill, but it's not quite enough. We're not close enough to have a huge... It'd have to be an absolutely monumental lunge into the final corner. We are there or thereabouts. One more time around. What can we do with this Volkswagen? I'm not sure. We'll try everything. We'll throw the lot at them, but it is going to be tough for us. We will go down to 4th this time around, which I probably should have done last lap. It's just got too much pace here. We've got to be absolutely perfect in front of the hotel. That if we can be perfect there and the El Camino slides, then there's a hope that we can just launch it into the final corner. But that's our lot there. We've got to be absolutely spot on through here. The El Camino clips the rocks. That's good for us. We are flying down the hill as best we can. Oh my god, I'm not going to be close enough though. Oh, we might be. The El Camino bumped the wall. We're going to launch it. We're going to launch it to the inside. We might get out-dragged. It's a drag race to the line. There's a gap. The El Camino bumped the wall and it gave us the momentum. Volkswagen is so good in that final corner. We could just brake so late. We could just fire it in on that tight line. We do get fastest lap of the race. It's close though. Yeah, the El Camino unlucky. I basically did what I had to. I had to be perfect through the chicane in front of the hotel. We were. The El Camino slightly clipped the rocks and slightly clipped the wall. And it was enough to put it into danger where I could just launch it in the final corner. We could get it stopped, but there's no contact made in that one. I think the El Camino thought we were too far back for that dive. Otherwise, I think it would have defended. But there we go. The Volkswagen is bloody fast in this category. Not the easiest to drive. The Transit gets onto the podium as well. The Wuling struggled a little bit as expected. Yeah, that's not the easiest to drive. It spins the front wheels a lot. Around here, quite a lot of on-power understeer and all of that goodness, but when you get it right, it is very, very quick. It is very, very quick indeed. So there we go. It's 4 wins out of 5 for the Volkswagen. That though is going to be it for this video. If you would like to sign up to take part in the next one, you can via our Discord. There'll be a link in the description. Find the Versus the Community sign up section, and you can register to take part in there. That though is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.